Cognac. Tonight I have a very special guest, someone who's literally been begging me to be on the show for like the last 3 months, and I finally caved and said, fine, you can come on the show. Tonight I have with me Sir Dan from Sanctumonious, probably my best KeyForge friend, maybe. I know a lot of people out there may be sad hearing that, but I feel like that's not news to people either. How's it going, Dan?
Hello, Blake. Hey, man. That's
Hey.
that's warm and fuzzies. I mean, other than the 3 months of begging, I don't really remember that, but you know, the rest of that's pretty true. I am probably your best KeyForge friend.
Yep. I don't know if that's reciprocated, but hey, here we are.
Did you see the way I sidestepped that one?
Yes, I did. It did not go unnoticed.
All of my KeyForge friends are like my children. I have no favorites.
Ooh, another lie. Okay. So before we get into the gameplay itself, let's just go over the decks a little bit. So tell me about this Aetheris Lormir deck. Frau.
The Frau. Yeah, so I got this deck because I was looking for silly Calipigian Ideal with, let's see here, which automaton is it in this deck? I can't remember.
Reassembling.
The reassembling automaton. So it's silly because it's got that in the Golden Spiral. So hypothetically, as long as I can keep creatures on the board and I get that out, I can keep loading up the automaton with Amber and using it every turn on Sargon turns and keep adding more Amber to it and potentially forging off of it. So it's just kind of silly. It doesn't happen that often, but otherwise you still have 2 Ed-Eyes, which are really nice, along with a memory chip. Yep. So you cycle pretty quick. The Shadows is pretty unexciting because it's Worlds Collide Shadows, but you can, throw stuff like there's 2 Sanitation Engineers, and the Garbage Man can get rid of those Shadows cards as needed. But it's not all bad. It's got a Brend, and it's got a way to kill Brend with no safety in numbers, so you can at least suicide your own Brend pretty easily.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It was one of the early WC decks I got off of the secondary market because I kind of got that little combo stuck in my head.
And I remember that.
Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for Hide and Vellum too. Like 2 of my first 4 decks from WC, the Target pre-release, actually came with Hide and Vellum, and I don't know, I got a soft spot in my heart for those guys.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Tonight I am playing Walker Le Tessélian. I don't know, it's a French deck. Dan, you've played against my Italian AOA deck. Now it's time to go against my French AOA deck.
Oui.
Yes, it's pretty fun. It's got some good ways you can use Archimedes with a lot of different things on there, as well as having Desanya. How convenient with your lineup. And then it has a couple of Mars firsts with different shenanigans there, and then it has a pretty beefy Sanctum house, really beefy Sanctum house. Well, not really actually, but it has the Mars Ambassador double board in, and the double Rathias is pretty cool. And then Anahita can put in work with the Invasion Portal, Mother Gun, Gorm of Ohm, Eye of Judgment, Hallowed Shield. Not to mention there's Oath of Poverty, so things can happen. That's my deck. I don't think I'm gonna do my usual line of questioning with you, Dan, but let's kick this off right now.
Starting the game.
Yes.
Game is started. No, I can't keep this. Can't keep this bad. Can't keep this. Did I lose you?
All right.
Did you die?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was looking at my question sheet.
Gotcha. Eureka! Yeah, I can smell you from down here. Heyo. Yeah, this is the kind of humor. I've got 2 children, and I know how to dad joke.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Eureka.
Yeah, you're stretching on that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
It's pretty. I'm excited. It was a pretty good wild wormhole.
Yeah, it was indeed.
I mean, it wasn't the house cheating wild wormhole, but luckily this deck doesn't. Oh. So mean.
That worked out well.
So mean.
Okay, so let's get on to the questioning. So, Dan, here's a
Mm-hmm.
question on everyone's mind. What is your favorite KeyForge house, and why is that?
Whew. I mean, I'd almost have to go set to set. So
Okay, sure, let's do that.
Coda with shadows. Like I love shadows. Like I like winning, so I like shadows. It's fairly easy to follow along with that logic. So
Sure.
yeah, shadows for there. AOA, I think I like Mars the best, and mainly because of Jenka. Like people know that I
Yeah,
love
fair.
Jenka, and so man, I'm trying to think AOA. Like Shadows wasn't bad. Like AOA Shadows is actually still pretty good. Like Ronnie was great, so Shadows would probably be a close second because I still enjoyed winning. And I think my best Jenka deck actually does have like double Ronnie and too much protects, so that was like my favorite deck ever. Zia the Disc Spy, the one that we just covered in the Sanctumonious podcast.
Right. Great
Um,
episode, by the way. If you
Thank
guys
you.
haven't checked out that Sanctimonious episode,
It was
go
fun.
check it out. It's a really cool seeing three different perspectives on one deck, and I really thought that was a great idea.
Yeah, so we're doing it again. We've had another deck that we're testing, and you've actually played against it. We actually had that adaptive match with it, so that'll be fun.
Oh yeah,
That'll be
yeah.
not this week, but next week, because I think this week we have Blinking Line, the KeyForge artist, is going to be on the podcast to talk about like drawing art for KeyForge. So obviously, I will not be a part of that podcast.
What?
Blake is shocked.
That's weird.
Fake outrage from Blake.
Yeah, exactly.
Blinded by the light.
So, um, the next question I have for you is: I think anyone who's familiar with the fact that you're part of Sanctimonious pretty much knows that you're basically not only a community leader, but
Oh, geez.
you actually kind of helped foster a community. Like you were part of that. Like obviously it wasn't you yourself, but you laid down the groundwork for what it has become now. And I find that a very interesting thing. And I'm kind of curious, like, what was the thought process that went into, like, how did that start? Like the whole Sanctimonious, creating a Discord and just developing that into what it's become today. Cause I think it's like from a singular like faction of Keyforge, I would say, like, and like coming from the starting with the podcast and going somewhere, like not just being a general Keyforge thing. Like you came from a podcast and then created this community team. How did that happen? Like, what was the developmental process to get to that point?
All right. So this is how this is gonna go. Okay. Gonna think. All the thinking. So I mean, first off, it started with KeyForge. KeyForge became a thing, and it seemed fun. And so let's see here. No, I want to do it this way. Oh, I'm gonna be smart about this. All right, I'm figuring out my deck so I don't allow you to forge a key. There we go. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. As Blake often says. So yeah, so it started with KeyForge. I liked KeyForge. I played KeyForge. I used to podcast about miniatures games, Malifaux. I ran a podcast for about 2 years, had almost 100 episodes, and then my daughter came along, and I couldn't go out every Friday night for 4.5 hours to go play a miniature game anymore. So that hobby had to kind of die. And so then, yeah, I didn't podcast for, maybe a couple of years. But then I got into KeyForge. I really enjoyed it. I started hanging out in the KeyForge Lounge, and that was a good place. I can't remember. It was some random person on TCO that introduced me to the KeyForge Lounge. And I was on Discord for some Malifaux stuff. So, yeah, I started hanging out on the lounge. And once that happened, we went from the lounge to all the thinking. I kind of got to know Jake through the lounge a little bit. And he was a streamer, so he was streaming himself playing KeyForge. So I checked out his streams. I challenged him to a few games. I kicked his butt. I read his articles. His articles were good. We just started chatting a little bit because I mean we're kind of getting a little chummy. And so I mean that's something a lot of people don't realize. Like me and Jake, like episode 1 of Sanctimonious was like the third time we talked to each other. We have yet to meet each other in person. Like this just hasn't happened yet. So weird, wild stuff. So yeah, so then we go from that. So we start talking. He's like, "Yeah, I think I want to get into podcasting." I was like, "Oh, dude, I used to podcast. I would love to podcast, but I don't have the time to do the editing and do all that stuff. But I would happily be a second chair and lend a voice if you wanted to start one." He's like, "Sweet, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out." So yeah, we talked about it, kind of lined up some things, did some planning, and started a podcast. So once we got that started, we're like, well, we may as well start our own Discord, just to give people a place to come, hang, and uh, yeah, talk about the podcast and talk about other things. And I really think we just got really lucky. Like I don't want to take any credit for it because I feel like the OGs of the Sanctumonious Discord like are still there. A lot of them, like there's probably like 10 to 20 people. They're like the OGs that were like the first like 30 people to join, and like those people have been amazing. So Alex was one of the OGs, and now he's one of the co-hosts. B Hawk was one of the originals that came on really quick, and I've actually met B Hawk in person. And that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just kind of crazy. We went from holy smokes, what's going on over here?
Just letting you tell your story, Dan. Don't mind me.
Wait, you're playing two houses. Oh, there goes the Sanya.
Yeah, I was playing Helper Bot.
Right. Double helper bot. Gross.
I went, yeah, next to Archimedes. How do you like that map?
Yeah.
So I basically popped my Jargaga, which had the Mind Warper. Then I did a Helper Bot to get out Beam Buckler, and that's where we're at right now. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so we had
So you
some
met
really
B-Hawk.
good OGs. I've actually met B Hawk. We went hiking. It was very nice. My family and him and his wife. That was really cool. But yeah, like I mean, I've put in a lot of work at the beginning. Like some, you just kind of have to be on constantly. You kind of have to be there to just get it going. Like get that thing started. So it was a lot at the beginning of me checking constantly, kind of commenting on everything in the Discord. And like I said, we still had that nice OG crowd that like helped a ton. And I mean, it just kept growing and growing. And for some
But at
reason,
the end
like
of the day, it's kind of like you're putting time in and you're getting it back. Based like it took you laying the groundwork and putting in like your own time to get to the point that where you could step away a little bit more, and then the community stepped in, right?
pretty much, yeah. No, it's been amazing. God, I have to let you get this freaking key. Just gonna get rid of that guy though. No fighting. Have a very efficient next turn. So yeah, so we just had a really good community. I think the Sanctumonious community really was the heart of the first 20-ish people because it just kind of set the tone for the entire Discord. I think I've had to step in one time in the history of the Discord. It's been alive for about a year now, where we had one argument that kind of circled for a while. It was fine, like it was still pretty respectful, but like we just weren't going anywhere with it. Like it had stopped progressing forward. So I finally just had to say, hey, I think we've all said our piece here, and I think we need to move on because there's nothing else being said right now. So
Right.
one time in a full year, which is just nuts. Because I've I've tried some other games Discord servers because like ours is so welcoming and so I mean friendly and outgoing and really nice. And I've tried a couple of Rocket League ones, and oh my goodness, like it was so toxic. I had to leave like immediately. It's like, oh, okay, this is
Do
how.
you think that speaks to the game of KeyForge? Like because we like, do you think people? I feel like KeyForge is a collective of people who came from toxic scenes, and so like it's like when you've been there and experienced that, and it's something you disliked, when you go somewhere else, is kind of like I feel like we all subconsciously have this vow not to really go there to a degree. Would you agree with that?
Maybe I could see a case being made for that. I don't know. Yeah, because I mean the KeyForge community in general is pretty top notch. Like, let's see here. This is
Yeah, I would agree. I'll give you a moment here to think things through because I know my tactic of my
uh,
of asking you questions is working really well right now.
truly is. You're a horrible person. All right, now we got this. This is definitely a Surian turn. We're not going to be Surrey about that. You guys are so little. They're so puny.
Yep.
I have to just discard that card because that does me a whole lot of good. Oh, I don't want to play that yet. Okay. Oh, that was going to be my clever thing. Still works. This is still going to be okay. Let's see here. So then things happen. Yeah, I do need the 5th damage. Ugh. Just ugh. No, it's not even worth fighting any of your guys, stupid Mars dudes. El Ripe. I don't want to play that yet, but I want to play that. Oh, this is so awkward.
Feels awkward.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted. Oh, I can do it twice. Right. Yeah, that's neat. Okay. Okay, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's not individual, it's. Oh, that's not as good. I thought I
Yeah,
could spread the
it's a full
damage.
damage to one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, we're not going to let you keep doing that. The issue here is no matter where I put this amber, your collector worms just get it back, which is annoying.
Correct.
I mean, does the other 5 damage matter? No, it doesn't, because it takes care of a beam buckler. Do I care about a beam buckler? Is it worth giving you an additional amber to nuke a beam buckler? Like, that is the question that's on
It
my
is.
mind right now. And I could spread the amber around. I could put one on every one of my dudes, but I don't think I have anything cool to do with that. No, I sure don't. Oh, I kind of do. Okay. We can play towards that out. Let's go for it. Why not? Let's get rid of that guy, because I feel like collector worms are about to start collecting. So that'll at least limit your Mars turn. Although, God, that stupid mind worm is going to be annoying too. That's not too bad. Alright, that's what I can do.
All right. So next question for you.
Yeah, so then the community team just kind of happened naturally out of the Discord. We got some playmats and some shirts, and we're just like, yeah, we'll make a community team, like, no contracts. We're not gonna make you try out for the team or anything. Get a mat, get a
Right.
t-shirt, whatever, be a cool dude. And it's worked out well. Like, we got a little afraid that it started getting pretty big, and we're like, man, what happens if you're put in a situation where somebody is wearing the gear, sporting the playmat, and doesn't behave themselves? And it never came up. Everybody is pretty amazing in the Discord. So like I said, I used to get a lot of, after the big events when those things were actually happening, before we were all quarantined. A lot of people just be like, hey, played at this VT. And I think, like, my favorite games of the weekend were those that I played against people, rocking Sanctumonious gear. They're just so nice, so friendly. Like, the games were really competitive, but everybody was, chummy about it. Like, they weren't, it's not cutthroat. Like, they're going to beat you if they beat you. I mean, Alex double day 2'd Gen Con. So, I mean, we're not slack players at all, but, we win with courtesy and friendliness.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. It's a much more enjoyable hobby.
Yeah, I would say so.
Dunked on so hard.
No, you're good, man.
No, I'm not good. You're in check for your 3rd key. I can't do anything. Like, this game's over. I got so out of hand.
It was
Double
fun.
helper bot into double collector worm.
Yeah, this was fun.
For you.
Honestly, it's very rare that I have something do this well against you. Normally, our games are quite back and forth. So
Yeah,
let's chalk
no,
it up
this.
to the interview going along with this. We'll do a best of three, though. Maybe I got a good draw here.
I don't know that I want to play against this deck again. Oh my
We
goodness.
can swap it up if you want. I just wanted to show. So part of the reason why I chose this deck is because, as people know in my YouTube channel, we're going to be doing a Survivor tournament here locally. And the stipulations for the three deck is one is Coda, one is AOA, and one is Dub C. So I'm trying to showcase on my YouTube channel all my AOA decks that I'm willing to put out for the community so they can see the different things that exist because some of our community don't have a lot of AOA decks just from when they came into the game. And I mean, if there are $50 AOA boxes, I'm sure people would have bought some, but the fact that there was Coda ones and Dub C's latest set meant that AOA fell by the wayside, so to speak. Okay, so, I think it's safe to say that you are a community leader in some regard or another. Would you agree?
I don't
Do you
know.
want to
I
switch
mean,
decks?
no, it's fine. I'll rock this one again. That was
You have to redeem yourself. You need to
at,
board in the
at
redeem to
least at
yourself.
least need to like get one key. I don't know. It's so weird because I'm so homebound because I've got two kids under the age of 3. So I mean, I'm a voice on the podcast. I'm
But I
written
mean, you're
words in
still
the.
active with everyone, man. You're like, I wouldn't say like I don't mean like a physical community leader, but I'm talking about the actual community of KeyForge at large. You're a community leader.
Jeez, that's scary to think about. No, I don't want to think about it.
Well, you are. So
If
how do
you
you
say
respond to
so.
that?
If you say so. I don't know. I, I enjoy the game. I like playing the game. I like talking to people. I like people. I talk to people and kind of in a PR position as a living. So, I mean, doing the podcast and I guess, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say like community leader. I don't know. I don't know, Blake. Put me in a weird spot here.
Really? It's very rare that I've ever had a conversation with you, Dan, where you're lost for words. So this is
Yeah.
monumentous. We need to mark down this moment in time. Okay, well, we'll skip over the fact that you are a community leader. Um,
Fair.
what advice would you have for community leaders, Dan?
I guess stay humble. I don't
That's a good one.
know. I don't know. I mean, if you're ever trying to influence a community, like the best thing you can do is just kind of be there for people. Um, and just be approachable. You got to be a little bit outgoing. And if you're not great at being outgoing, but if just being there, showing up. So when I was playing Malifaux, it was a smaller niche game, and we had a Friday night meetup. And I mean, we started with maybe like 4 people, but at the time, I was able to go every week. And just consistently going every week is a big thing for consistency and just for people to, know that they can actually go and play the game. So, I mean, if that's a local, oh, God, such a weird time in the world right now. I mean, you can't really do that
Yeah.
right now. The community leaders now are like organizing online events. I mean, you're doing that up in Canada up there. We've got Ryan Christian here in the Seattle region organizing online events. I think Real Player
Yep.
One, Austin Kakay is also organizing online Seattle events as well. So, I mean, just I've heard stories. I think Sky Jedi did one over I believe he's in Minnesota. So there's just a bunch of people popping up right now, and since we can't actually meet in stores and play, people are kind of grabbing the mantle and pressing forth with giving people events to play in.
Yeah, I think you said that very well. Yeah, it's one of the, I guess I don't even want to say silver lining, but like bronze lining maybe that exists within everything. So I do not like what you did here. Um,
I mean, I took myself out of check with that play, but I don't know.
okay, so next up I have for you is what type of player do you think you are, Dan?
You know this about me.
I know. I want to hear you say it though. You
Uh,
control, you combo, you rush. You're a rush player, right? You always go for those fast decks.
no, I like to grind it out, make it weird.
Yeah, straight up. Emphasis on the weird part.
Yeah, no, I've always liked decks that just put my opponent in really weird spots where they're just like, wait, what's going on here? Like, what? Wait, what? We have to
Yeah.
do what now to forge a key? You have to hop in your left foot with your hand in your right pocket, wearing a hat sideways, while winking with one-eyed sunglasses. So it's a new card in development. I'm working with FFG on it.
Yeah, sounds like it.
The whirly gig. No, I don't know. I really enjoy like weird combo decks. Like I said, like this deck is a prime example. Like it is not a great deck by any means, but if you get it rolling a little bit, it can be pretty oppressive once you get that reassembling automaton. Hey, look at this! I forged a key.
Yeah, I know.
Woo!
You're already off to a better start than last game.
Yeah, you don't have any artifacts to sell me, so that's
Not
good
at the moment,
news.
unfortunately. Which means my Oath of Poverty is going to be a real banger when it comes. Okay. So
So,
what is your preferred type of deck acquisition and why? Do you like buying cracking packs and getting them, or do you like getting decks on the secondary market?
I mean, I prefer for the value secondary market because I know what I'm getting there.
You mean not
Um,
a box full of Brobnar?
we got wrecked so hard by that. That was so
We
sad.
did.
Ah, dinos, dinos, dinos. Why do you have Exalt? I have no way to get rid of my Exalt either. And you've got all these beefy dudes that are just gonna pummel them. But they are elusive, so you'd have to spend two. Oh, but mine were. Oh, I just did that really poorly. Whoops.
You did. Yep.
Yeah,
I was admiring that right now.
that's fine. No, we're not gonna do anything with that. Yeah, that was really bad. So for the viewers at home, I should have played the other Quester Jarta on the other side of the Quester Jarta, because now both my Quester Jartas will die with this Mindworm attack when it comes.
I'm gonna be honest, Dan. I feel like this questioning is somewhat rattling you a little bit, which I
Well,
was
I'm thinking
not
of
expecting.
yeah, I'm thinking about that too much. And like I said, like this deck, I haven't touched it in a while. So oh, that's why. Because this is an Omni ability. I was like, why does it keep asking me? Are you sure you want to end your turn? Because the Coliseum has an Omni key
Yeah,
too.
that's the annoying
Super
thing.
annoying. All right, what was the
All
last
right.
question? After I misplayed this last scenario.
It was deck acquisition, and you were
Oh yeah,
going in
yeah,
why you like to go for the secondary market over cracking decks. You're giving my logic behind all that.
yeah. So I mean, I bought a lot of Coda like one-offs. Driving around, I was pretty hooked on the game, so I drive around and buy a bunch of decks, and it's fun. Like it is fun going around and buying a bunch of decks. All the freaking collector worms. Um, but yeah, like the thing that sucks with doing that is you just have no way of really knowing what you're gonna get when you do it.
No, that's true.
So for like you buy four decks, like even like the cheap boxes at $60. Let's say you get a $60 box, so 12 decks for $60, which is really good. Like $5 a deck,
Yeah.
like solid deal. Oh, that's so laggy. Get wrecked.
Oof.
I'm
Where
just
was
gonna.
that last game?
I know, right? We'll just do that. We'll just make this pinata so big for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Omni thing. How did I get a counter? Oh, because you fought into me with Mindworm. Neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so for $60 you can get 12 decks out of a box. And you probably of those 12 decks, you probably pull two decks, maybe two decks in like the low 70 SAS, which again, SAS isn't the end all be all, but just saying that you spend $60 to maybe get two decks that you might like you might not even like them. Like they might be not your play style or just something you don't really enjoy playing, and then all of a sudden you're at $60 and you have 12 decks that are taking up shelf space. Now you take that $60, you go on the secondary market, you can get a really nice deck for $60. One that you're actually going to enjoy playing. You'll probably play a lot. Like it just seems like a way better proposition to me to just buy stuff off the secondary.
No, I think you're right. There's no question about it. Like that is true. But you know what the other thing is that I think this is what KeyForge creates is that you also have the fact that basically any deck you open, you know that it doesn't exist. Like you're getting something that's unique in its own thing. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, no, I mean definitely. I mean you're every deck is its own thing. Here's that Eureka again to put you to 7. Oh, but you're not gonna forge. Suck it. Or I could make you forge for 7. Oh, that'll make you forge either way. So unfortunate.
You have no idea how amazing that Archimedes play was.
Let's see here.
Yeah, so like how
Again,
what
the
did you think of
Eureka.
the unique deck thing? Yeah, it gave me some good archiving. What do you think of the unique deck thing? Like, do you think that is a factor in why people just like cracking because you're gonna find something potentially that didn't exist and can be more powerful? I think it's that
But I mean,
looming proposition
it's like gambling. Like you are gambling
for
on
sure.
pulling something awesome. Yeah, let me
Yeah,
do it
and
this
it's better than buying a pack of magic cards or three of them, however you want to look at it.
way. Right. Yeah. So for 3, yeah, because I mean you're getting a full deck of a full ready to play deck for that $10. No, I do not want that. I regret to do this. You just get it back in your archives, but whatever.
But it kind of
Um,
works.
it kind of works. Play this over here. Go
There
like
you go.
that.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it again though. We're not gonna make you a big old dino pinata. Let's see here. Have we already seen Desania? No, of course not. Sucks. Oh well. Yeah. So I usually last couple sets like AOA I bought. I think I ended up getting 3 boxes. I got a box on release. I got a box when they went cheap, and then my son was born, and a friend of mine, Sean, dropped off an AOA box. And after opening those 3 boxes, I was like, I got maybe like 3 decks out of these 3 boxes that I kind of like. Like
Yeah,
this is a really bad proposition. I wish I could have just, you know, done it a different way and gotten a lot of
fair.
decks that I liked. Because for the price of those 3 boxes, and I was like probably like $250. Like I could have bought 2 like super high level decks that I'd probably play a ton. And I mean, I did. I got a lot of run out of those boxes. There's a couple decks I actually did spend a lot of time playing. So maybe it worked out. There's the Desania.
That's what magically got archived during my turn, which was
Poke.
quite
Oh, Poke
fantastic.
and Desania. Wow.
Yeah, those are my archived cards.
Gross.
Oh, that was dumb. I wish I chose a different card now. I was about to choose Logos, and I realized that would affect me as well. That would have been a
Hey, I
fun
got a
misplay.
second key? Are you
You
serious?
did. Yeah, we got a game here.
Like I'm doing it. I mean, Desania's already down. She's next to Archimedes, so she could suicide. So what card do I not care about? That one. No, I don't want to take my archives into my hand. No, thank you. All right, let's make that key cost all the monies.
Oh, rude.
What's the next one that I
Mhm.
don't care about? Probably that one. And he just has archive. I don't want to give you a helper bot because that only gets my Coliseum to 3, and that's not quite enough. So pressure, pressure, pressure. Cool.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question for you is,
No, Titan
what
Librarian.
advice do you have for someone who's getting into the game for the first time or just gotten into the game? Like, what do you think is like the right kind of steps for someone like that?
I mean, honestly, if you're wanting to get really good, like so KeyForge is a great game. It's super simple to learn. Like it does not take a lot to figure out how to play the game. Like it's pretty simple. You choose your house, you play your cards of those house, you move on. Like the picking up of the game is really simple, really easy. It's pretty easy to teach it to people. Like that's the beauty of it. Getting really good at the game now, that's another step. And if that's your goal, like definitely check out these podcasts, check out Sanctumonious, check out Help from Future Self, check out United Archons, check out Archon's Corner. Like all these podcasts, they give a lot of good information, different strategies, just, help you think about cards in a different way. And then I'd really say get involved with the community too. I mean, when I started the podcast, like I was pretty good at the game, but Alex still beats my head in, but Alex and Behawk were just beating my head in over and over again. Like those guys were real good at the game, and I learned a lot from just getting my face smashed in over and over again. And then we'd do things like I was streaming for a little bit there at the very beginning when I had a little more time and just one kid, and we'd go back and rewatch the games that I'd played and just kind of see like, hey, where could I have made a better decision? Where like what were my options here? Like what did I miss? And that was a huge help. And I mean, with the Crucible tracker out there, like if you really want to get good at this game, it's so easy to figure out. Like it's really easy. Like you can go back, you can review your games with better players. Like you can come on the Sanctumonious Discord, go into the Tales from the Crucible, and say, "Hey, so your Destain is not dead yet, but almost dead." You just be like, "Hey, can you check out this game and see what I did and see if that was the right moves?" And um, yeah, it's really, really, really great.
No, I would agree. Yeah, it's a cool resource, and like we were saying before, like there is a community that exists within KeyForge, and you'd be surprised if you're willing to reach out and ask for help in some way, the response you'll get, because a lot of people are willing to help and help you develop your game because they like that aspect of the game. They like being able to talk about it because sometimes when you have that discussion, you're going to gain insight as well for your own player skill and growth. Not just like looking at someone else's game also helps you. And then when you have that discussion, you kind of open up the possibilities because this is a game that has unique decks and unique combinations of cards. And you're going to start noticing, oh, wow, these two cards together with this happening creates this proposition and this line of play, which I had noticed before. I wonder if I have some decks that can do it as well. You just create that aha moment that you can explore, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, for shizzle.
um. Okay, here's a fun one, Dan. I'm actually really curious about your thoughts on this question. This is one of the regular ones. Is if you could change one thing about KeyForge, what would it be?
Library access would have alpha and it wouldn't purge. Next question.
Okay. Oh, no, I want to know like a general like rule thing, not a singular card thing.
It's a rule thing. I don't know. So I wish the cards were written in a manner that actually made sense for the way they were supposed to be used.
Do you think the language on all the cards is a little too
Well, there were some
confusing?
inconsistencies with the way the cards were written. So things like the Mars cards that were supposed to purge, cards out of your own archive that never worked because of the way it was written on the card. That's unfortunate. I think there's a lot of similar abilities that could have all been wrapped up into a single keyword instead of a bunch of different keywords. So I just
Right.
think there was some stuff there where it was just like, whoops. Let's
Which
see.
sounds like how I feel right now with what you're doing.
Me, whoops.
No, for me. I think
Oh,
you got this one.
yeah, I think so. I feel pretty good about it. We'll see.
I mean, I have nothing to take you off check, so that's pretty strong.
That'll do. No, so just yeah, cleaning up some of those early sets. I don't know. I think bait and switch can come back, to its original form, or at least rule of 6 it or something. I don't know. Maybe rule of 6 is too much, but 2 really destroyed that card. It was.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially with Tribute existing now, it feels kind of like, why can't it be more?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Especially with
got
like
this one, man.
the big amber swings. Oh man, do we have to go to a game 3 then?
No, we're going to leave it at this.
Oh, okay.
This is friendly. We'll keep it friendly.
Yeah, as you see, the combo that I was hoping to get off, I never got off, but I do actually have the combo in hand now. So I've got the reassembling and the Calipigian Ideal in hand, so that's fun.
That is fun.
I also have my Brand with no safety and numbers and archives here to really spice things up.
Too little, too late. Yeah, if I had, no matter what, you had me. Didn't make a difference.
Whew.
Yep, you got this one, my friend. I can only burst to 13 Ember. This deck's cool though. Hey, the way it can do some shenanigans, I gotta say, especially against Worlds Collide. I was not picking it because of the Worlds Collide matchup, but it definitely does play well.
It's all speed though. It's no amber control. There's 0 amber control.
Double Borden, come on, double Borden, Mind Warper.
Poor Dan. I mean, the redeeming quality of that guy is he's got a cool back half of his name, but other than that, Bordon't.
Fair. Okay, so my closing question for you, Dan, which I close everyone, is if you could have any character in KeyForge be your spirit animal or your representation of you, what character would it be?
I mean, I've answered this question a lot. Maybe I am a community leader. I don't know. I guess I've answered a lot of these questions. Weird. I don't know.
Who's asked you this question before? This is my question.
Call of Discovery.
No, that's different. He said, who would you like to go on a quest with, was the question he asked you.
Oh.
I'm asking,
it's still
what is your spirit?
It's still going to be Ronnie. Me and Ronnie are so tight. I almost ran a triple Ronnie deck tonight. That was really cool, but I went with this one instead.
Yeah, I would agree. Ronnie is your most played card for sure.
Yeah, like he's my spirit. Like that's the way I like to play the game, where my opponent thinks they're in a good spot. They're at like 6 or 7. They think they're gonna forge, and then boom, Ronnie. Like you're not forging, and that amber's mine now. Like that's kind of the way. Like
that's how you are in life.
That's kind of the way I like to play a lot of games. Yeah, I like to play kind of reactionary, kind of be the mid.
And your laugh kind of represents his chuckle on his face. I'm pretty sure it's exactly. That is literally how
you thought you were
going
to win there. That's cute. Want to buy a watch? Oh, it's your watch? I mean, here, look at this one.
Oh, yeah, that's a go, and I like that. So, thank you for coming on this tonight, Dan. I really do appreciate it. Where can people find you if they want to have a further conversation with you in some form or another? Or just jam games with you?
Yeah, so Twitter, Dan is someone, DANISSOME1. On Discord, we're very active in the Sanctumonious community, and you'll see all the other games I'm playing right now. I am a Magpie gamer. I'm all over the place. So come hang out in the Sanctumonious Discord. Yeah, hit up the Crucible Rumble coordinator. If you ever see me on, not on TCO as much anymore, but if you do see me on there, the password is always S, so hit that S and come spectate. Hands are always revealed. And mostly I'm playing against Alex, B-Hawk, and Blake, so it'll probably be a familiar face when you hop in there. So they're there. And then, the Sanctumonious podcast. Give it a listen if you haven't yet. And
good one.
Yeah, I think that's everywhere. I mean, I was on Twitch. I have a new network interface card coming on Friday, and maybe that'll make my computer able to stream again because something is jamming the tubes.
Perfect. So, you can find me on my usual places, Instagram and Twitter at Boulevard Paper Fight. And I hope you do enjoy this Crucible and Cognac series. And as always, everyone, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.
Forge those keys.